welcome back to Dirt 5. And carrying on from the last episode, if you haven't seen it, it was our winning episode. We won every race, it was incredible. But can we do the same twice? Well, we're about to find out. We're going to start with the Nepal Brawl at Everest Outlook in Nepal for a land rush event. Wolverine is in the car and he is driving the Jimco Unlimited Class 1 of the Unlimited Class. We've previously done an episode about this kind of race. So Unlimited Class, it's got kind of two different cars. The Jimco Unlimited Class 1 is a really good handling car, but there is another car that does 1,000 brake horsepower, which is more of a top speed car. And generally, whenever myself or Wolverine have driven either one, the opposite car has come out on top. And I favour the power, he favours the handling, and both times it's always been the opposite one that's done well. But we'll see how Wolverine does here. He's currently in 8th place in the Jimco. And doing okay. He's not the best or the most confident, I should say, rather than best. He's not confident on snow or ice. So it does take him a little bit of time to try and find the grip levels and try and control the car. And all you can already see, even the better handling in this car, he is struggling around some of the corners. He just thinks there's no grip. And if this is the better handling car, the other car must be struggling, but it doesn't seem to be. Wolverine down in 12th place, although he's going to go up the inside here and take a position, if not two. Why not, when you can? But then losing one on the exit, he just can't get the power down. If you watch around every corner, every time he applies the power, the car just doesn't want to turn or just wants to skid out on the back end, and he's struggling to control it. Now, I will say, in his defence, he's not experienced in racing games. This is the first one he's really got into and played, and even then he's still learning. So, you know, some of you will say, you know, steer the opposite way, feather the throttle, that kind of stuff. And yes, I do tell him these things and I try and teach him, but it is down to him come the race day. And as I've said, as long as he gains a stamp, I don't mind the result. The result doesn't matter. It's a stamp that matters as long as we continue on. That's all he's after, and it's already done. If you look at the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the 3 objectives. He already gained the stamp. Position now no longer matters. This now turns into him trying to learn how to control this car on snow, and that's what it's about. It's all about him learning and getting to grips with all different types of cars and different conditions. That's all I can ask him, and I think he's doing okay. Again, the car is it just seems to be really uncontrollable. I won't say that I could have done better, because I don't know if I would have done. I also want to pick the car he's using, because I would have gone for the speed, then probably regretted it because of the conditions, to be honest. But we don't know. But, you know, he's in 11th place currently. You can see the struggle he's having around some of the corners, but he's trying his best. I think he's slightly catching. He's going to be overtaken just there on pure power alone, but he's going to try and go around the outside this time. He normally favours an inside overtake. Outside this time. Losing the position on the exit. He just can't get the power down. For some reason, this car will not react properly around the corners on this track or this surface. And it could be he's picked the wrong car. We won't know until the end. I don't really know enough about the cars to know if the ones ahead of him are the other type of car that was normally favoured in the Unlimited class. There is a chance they are, and it could just be wrong car, wrong track, wrong race. Simple as that. But currently, 12th place, he's trying his best. The snow is coming down heavy, and he takes the corner. Not too bad that time. Seems to find the grip level a little bit easier. As he's getting into this race, it seems to be getting better, although oversteering a little bit there, going into the barrier. He goes over the jump, doesn't get in the air. The other car did. He's catching up again, so he is catching the cars ahead. He's not letting them get away. There's not a big gap. Which means he is doing something right. It's just around the corners he's struggling to put the power down. Back up to 11th. I don't think it will last long because the car's on the outside takes the position back. He's back down to 12th. We're looking at the inside again here. Takes one position, does hit the car ahead, which will slow him down on exit. Over the bridge. And this is the final lap as well. The interesting thing will be the leaderboard at the end to see if it is the opposite car that has done well in this event. You wouldn't expect it considering the conditions. This is the better handling version, but is it top speed has worked better maybe? You would expect it not to be because of how difficult it's been to control, but we don't know. We'll find out at the end. Currently in 11th though, up to 10th, up to 9th. Took a few positions, but then just didn't brake early enough for the corner. That's going to lose a couple on exit. Did one car crash out? There must have been, there is a car, if you look in the mini-map to the bottom left, there is a car way back in the distance. It must have crashed or something. Wolverine is now up to 10th place. That's a bonus. Right-hander coming up, taking it nicely. Too much power. And you can see him trying to feather the throttle, but then you can see him full throttle as well, and you can see the difference in turning. But he's competing. 10th place currently, holding on quite nicely. Left-hander here. Right-hander come up, got a bit deep into the left-hander. That messed up his entry for the right-hander there, I would have said. And he's coming across. Doing okay. A little bit of air that time. Not a massive amount, but a little bit. Left-hander now. Probably a bit too hard into there, a bit too powerful, too much speed. I'll let him down a little bit there. Looking at the inside here for an overtake. He gets 10th place back again. This is going to try and finish across the line. And he's going to finish in 10th place. I don't think that's a bad result. And as expected, the other car that I generally use, the Brentford Industries Unlimited truck, won the race. In fact, the first 5 positions was what the car I would have used. So, not all Wolverine's fault. At the end of the day, I think it was wrong car, wrong track, wrong conditions. But we seem to have made this mistake with unlimited cars quite a lot. We picked the one that we favour, and generally we need to use the other one. But he did obtain 1 stamp, so well done Wolverine, 1 stamp indeed. So that is that race done. All the awards coming now. And we're going to move on. So the next race we have is Cliff's Edge at Foci Di Giovo, Italy, for a Stampede race. But now, apologies for pronunciation. I'm in the car, Soldierboy's in the car for this one, and he's driving, or I'm driving, the Rezvani Tank of the pre-runner class. And this is a new car, DLC car, for when we're ready to move on the DLC. We're just trying out new cars. I said we would. This is a track we've done quite a lot of the times. I know this track inside out. Do not know this car. This is the first time we've used it. It looks like a tank. It is big, it is bold, and it looks like it handles like a tank, but we shall find out if that is true, or is it more supple than we believe. Brilliant start, good start. 10th place currently, trying to fight through the pack, and this is always a difficult thing. This car seems to be a little bit slow in acceleration. That's my first thoughts immediately. We're up to 5th, going up the inside, a bit tight to the inside there, trying to take 4th position. Quite managing it on the outside now for the next corner, forcing our way through. That's one thing I noticed quite quickly. If other cars hit you or you hit other cars, they don't seem to impact your steering angle at all compared to other cars. There are smaller cars. If you hit a car, they hit you, it kind of veers you off. This car is a tank. It does hold its position very well. Already up to 2nd place. 3rd is going back at us, but right-hander now. I'm just putting the car between the other car and the position, working well. Right-hander now, trying to get to drift around a little bit there. 2nd place is very good at this point, I think. I think we're doing a good position. Left-hander, catching the barrier because we turned in a little bit early there. And if you can look at the top speed, we're not doing a massive amount of speed, but because I can't remember what to compare it to, I don't normally notice the speed very often. We just concentrate on the driving more than the speed. This is the next part that I would expect us, if we're going to win, this will be the bit that does it. So around this next corner after this choice area, this right-hander here, we do not brake. I've never had to brake on this corner where the AI tends to, but we haven't quite done it. Normally we'd fly through there, so is this car a little bit slower than we're used to? Possibly. Over the big gap, big jump now, landing nicely, and if you notice how the other car landed and moved a bit on landing, we didn't. And I think that's the big thing with this car. It is very rock solid. I'm assuming, hence the name Tank. We are in the lead as we begin the 2nd lap. As long as we drive this now as we normally would this race, we should have this in the bag. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. There's always a chance we won't. One silly mistake, one corner too deep or one corner too early, and it's enough to lose it. But the car itself, pretty good, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised. I was a really bit unsure. I thought Tank tells me slow. And it's never a good name for a car, is it? Unless it's a big people carrier, something like that. Then Tank kind of works. But for a race car, it does make you think, okay, slow, big, slow. And we are being caught up here on the outside as 2nd place tries to take our 1st position off us, but we are going to hold on to it. So either we've been driving slowly, hence the tank, or we've been driving badly. And I don't think we took many corners badly, so I think this car isn't as powerful as the others we have used in this class. Turning a little bit over there, had to re-paint the right line, readjust. So yeah, I just think this car is probably a little bit slower than what we're used to. We've got the choice part now, left or right. We're going to go left this time. We went right for the last one, but I like to have the angle coming out onto the corner. So left is always better there. And you can see second place is right on our tail. Drifting nicely. This car is not drifting like the cars we normally use. So again, I think that's a speed issue. This car doesn't seem to have the top speed we're used to when it comes to this kind of track. But across the big jump. And we're still in first place. We've got a little bit of a gap. It isn't big. In fact, it's 0.7 of a second. That is not a big gap, and we need to keep this for a first place finish. The right-hander now. And again, the car just seems to be a little bit slow in some of the corners, especially acceleration. It isn't good. Like I say, it holds its own, it holds its position nicely. It's very stable, especially in the corners as well. It doesn't really skid or drift very easily. It does hold nicely, but I think it just lacked a little bit of top end and acceleration, which you can kind of expect for something called a tank. We're currently first place. I think we're doing okay. Splits has gone past. I did miss what the difference was in terms of times. But on the mini-map, you can see there's a tiny gap between us and second place. So we need no mistakes. Clean racing at this point. Just bring this home. Not long left to go. Right-hander now. Followed by the left. Coming up. Yeah, not too bad. Getting a little bit out of sorts on the exit, but not too bad. And we have actually been caught up by the car in second. You can see right on our tail now. So we must have had a bad corner, or they had some very good ones. Got a little bit caught up on the inside barrier, but they've dropped back a bit, so they must have made a mistake there as well, I think. Right, choice time, left to right. We're going to right this time. Normally we'd favour the left, the angle on the corner, but we're trying to just hold our speed at this point. Right-hander, we need to just keep this going. We're nearly there. It's going to be one big jump to the finish line. We need that gap to be as big as possible, just in case they have a lot better top end than we do. I think we're okay. Over the jump. Nicely done. And I think we have this. I think it's in the bag. We're going to take first place.
Hey, just a second. You do realize your car has 4 wheels, right? And you can use all of them? Cruising on 2 wheels won't win you any races, but it is certainly winning over the crowds.
I kind of feel that's kind of a backhanded compliment. It's kind of telling us off for being 2 wheels, although driving the tank was definitely not on 2 wheels at many opportunities because it was too stable to do that. But he is pleased with our progress, and that's the important thing. AJ there, trying to motivate us and keep us going. Now, while we show the rewards coming into that race for the win, I'm just going to talk about the next one. So the next one is the Mountain Rescue at Carrara Mine, Italy for Pathfinder event. Wolverine is in the new Rockbouncer, the Armada Rock Racer of the Rockbouncer class. Now, we don't commentate the Rockbouncer races, the Pathfinder events, because it's one person going at a time. There's no point. But, quick couple of facts. So usually we'd use a WS Auto Racer Mudclaw, which is a B, handling B power, 600 brake horsepower. The new vehicle, the Armada Rock Racer, is an A power, A handling, 1000 brake horsepower. Now, does that mean it's any good? I'm not sure. Wolverine took 2 attempts to get a stamp on this, and that's unusual for him. He normally racks up 3 stamps very quickly. But have a look for yourself and see what you think. There he is, crossing the line there. He's around 25 seconds off 3 stamps, and this is very unusual for Wolverine. Normally the Pathfinder events, he is on top of it, and he does really well. Even when he crashes, he makes up that time. His reaction? He actually liked the vehicle. The problem he felt was the track wasn't suited to it, because it was quite tight, narrow little drops and things. He felt maybe wrong vehicle, wrong track. So is it any good? Well, it's like anything, I suppose. It's in the right place at the right time. Could be. But that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. A like does help as well. Let us know in the comments what you think of the Rockbouncer, and we'll see you for the next episode.